When we think of religion, we usually think of a sacred belief system with a supreme being, unchangeable dogmas, and solemn rituals. Religion, in the popular sense, is an attachment to metaphysical concepts such as God, heaven, or eternal salvation. However, when we talk about Buddhism, we are faced with the paradox that a religion is not a religion. Why is Buddhism called that? Because it does not have the elements we usually find in traditional religions. The Buddha did not establish a system of beliefs that must be followed. He did not affirm the existence of a God, nor did he promise a paradise of bliss after death. Buddhism does not rely on blind faith, but focuses on helping people discover the truth for themselves, overcome suffering, and live a life of awareness. This makes Buddhism both a spiritual path and a way of life, far beyond the confines of a conventional religion. The biggest difference with Buddhism is that it does not ask you to believe anything you have not verified for yourself. While many religions teach that you need to believe to understand, Buddha emphasized experience and you will understand. He did not talk about distant metaphysical things, but guided people to observe their minds, bodies, and the world around them. For Buddha, truth was not something that could be conveyed through words or books, but was the result of awakening and deep understanding through actual experience. This makes Buddhism approachable but also challenging. It does not provide easy answers, but asks people to walk their own path of discovery. Truth is not something that is given, but something that must be sought and discovered. So Buddhism is not confined to dogma, but opens the door to inner freedom and complete autonomy. If you are looking for a safe haven, a place with fixed answers about the meaning of life, Buddhism is probably not for you. But if you want to challenge yourself, to understand more deeply the nature of life, Buddhism will open up a whole new perspective for you. In this video, Chiet Tam will explore with you how Buddha viewed existence and truth. This is an opportunity for you to experience for yourself and find the profound meaning of his teachings. Dear friend, in the teachings of Buddha, the concepts of God and soul are often understood in a completely different way than in traditional religions. Buddhism does not deny the existence of these ideas altogether, but focuses on helping people discover the nature of life for themselves, rather than relying on any supernatural power. First, Buddhism does not have a God. The Buddha did not encourage placing faith in an omnipotent being for comfort or salvation. Instead, he emphasized that liberation can only be achieved through wisdom and awareness. He neither affirmed nor denied God, but pointed out that belief in a creator does not help people overcome their inner conflicts or find deeper meaning in life. So why did people create the concept of God? According to the Buddha, God is a product of the human mind. When faced with uncertainty, suffering, and big questions about the meaning of life, people often create the image of an omnipotent being as a way to find security, like a spiritual refuge, to help people feel less insecure about their own powerlessness. The Buddha taught that belief in a God is actually a reflection of human weakness and fear. When the mind cannot accept that life is not completely controlled, it creates an image of a God to compensate for the feeling of disorientation. He stressed that only by giving up these illusions can one attain true freedom. Second, the absence of a soul does not mean that it does not exist. In other religions, the soul is often considered to be the immortal part that survives the death of the body. However, the Buddha pointed out that the soul is an illusion, originating from the human desire for immortality. He taught that existence is not an independent entity, but the result of the constant connection between elements. The Buddha explained that all phenomena in the universe are closely connected. No individual exists independently, and the concept of I or mine is essentially a product of the mind. When people realize that they are not separate from the whole, they will see that existence is actually an integral part of the whole universe. Third, reality does not require belief. The Buddha did not ask people to believe blindly what he said. He encouraged believers to verify everything through actual experience and face the truth, even if it may be painful or uncomfortable. Reality does not need to be embellished with promises or comforting beliefs. It needs to be seen for what it is. People often look for easy explanations or promises to escape reality. The Buddha taught that enlightenment can only be achieved when people have the courage to look directly at the nature of life without avoiding difficulties or illusions. It is through awareness and wisdom that people can overcome all the constraints of the mind to achieve inner freedom. In short, Buddhism does not promote belief in God or soul, but encourages people to discover the truth through practice and personal experience. By abandoning illusions and facing reality, we can find the true meaning of existence and attain inner peace. The Sutta Pitaka points out that life is full of suffering, from physical pain to mental dissatisfaction, and that this is an inescapable truth. The Sutta Pitaka explains that the cause of suffering lies in craving, the endless desire for material things, fame, and affection, which leaves people dissatisfied. The noble truth of the cessation of suffering states that suffering can end when one abandons craving and attains nirvana, a state of absolute peace beyond all bondage. The noble truth of the cessation of suffering is the path to liberation, systematized into the Noble Eightfold Path, a practical method for living consciously and living a fulfilling life. The Noble Eightfold Path includes right view, understanding correctly, which is seeing things clearly without being influenced by illusions. Right thinking, thinking correctly, directing thoughts positively, eliminating resentment and greed. Right speech, speaking correctly, which is using words to build up instead of to hurt. Right action is living ethically, not harming oneself or others. Right livelihood is encouraging honest living, not causing harm to living beings. Right effort is maintaining the effort to overcome bad habits and cultivate good qualities. Mindfulness, through right thinking, emphasizes clear awareness in every moment. Right concentration is the practice of samadhi to attain peace and enlightenment. These teachings are not only difficult to approach, but also very practical in modern life. For example, practicing right mindfulness helps improve honest communication while reducing stress and increasing concentration. The Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path are not only spiritual paths, but also the culmination of a life of peace. Suffering, dukkha, is not just physical pain, but also includes the feeling of dissatisfaction and emptiness that people often feel despite achieving everything they want. This stems from the impermanence of life. Everything changes and nothing is permanent. When a goal is achieved, the joy is fleeting before the person craves something else. This never-ending cycle is the source of suffering. However, the Buddha did not view suffering as entirely negative. He saw it as a gateway to enlightenment. Instead of avoiding, facing, and understanding the nature of suffering, helps people realize the truth and find the way to liberation. Suffering will become a valuable lesson, motivating people to discover the profound meaning of life. To overcome suffering, people need to live consciously instead of trying to escape or cover it up with temporary pleasures. Living mindfully means being conscious of your every thought, feeling, and action, not letting them be dictated by negative habits or emotions. A practical way to start is to focus on your breathing. As you pay attention to your breathing, you will realize that all feelings, whether positive or negative, come and go like waves. This helps you not to get caught up in temporary sufferings and to remain calm in all situations. Living mindfully not only helps you overcome sufferings, but also brings balance and peace in your daily life. That is the profound message that Buddha left for humanity. Craving or craving is one of the basic characteristics of the human mind. It is always looking for what we do not have, creating a feeling of lack and never being satisfied. The Buddha taught that craving is the main cause of suffering because it puts people in a state of constant restlessness. When we achieve something, the pleasure lasts only a moment before we start craving something else. This makes desire like a bottomless pot that can never be filled. The cycle of desire is easy to see. We desire, achieve, and then are disappointed by the fleeting pleasure. For example, a person who dreams of owning a luxury car may work tirelessly to achieve that goal. But once they have it, they want a better car or move on to other materialistic goals. This endless cycle of desire and frustration keeps people in a state of anxiety and disorientation. The Buddha did not teach us to completely eliminate desire because it is a natural part of the mind. However, he emphasized understanding the nature of desire. When you realize that desire cannot bring lasting happiness, you will be led to let go of your dependence on it. Liberation comes not from trying to satisfy desire, but from realizing that you do not need to chase it to feel happy. You can see very wealthy people. They live very peacefully without being dominated by the desire of the mind. Take billionaire Warren Buffett, for example. He is one of the richest people in the world, but lives a simple life, not driven by material desires. Buffett still lives in the house he bought in 1958, drives to work, and maintains a frugal lifestyle. For him, wealth is not to satisfy endless desires, but a tool to do more meaningful things, contributing to society through charitable activities. This proves that, despite possessing huge assets, people can still live peacefully if they know how to let go and not let desire control their mind. One of the most effective ways to overcome desire is to focus on the present. When you become fully aware of what is happening in the moment, you will see that much of your suffering comes from desires that are outside of your mind. The Buddha taught that meditation is a powerful tool to help you become aware of and transcend the cycle of desire. By practicing meditation, you learn to observe your mind, recognize desires as they arise, and not let them control you. Differences between religions and Buddhism on desire. Most traditional religions promise that human desires will be satisfied in the future, usually in an ideal state after death. It is believed that present suffering will be rewarded with glory in heaven or after many lifetimes. This leads people to place their hopes on distant rewards, accepting the present suffering as a period of trial to attain that reward. The Buddha discouraged relying on such distant promises. He emphasized that liberation does not lie in the future, but must happen in the present moment. By realizing that everything you need to be happy already exists within you, you are no longer bound by material or spiritual desires. In short, desire is the source of insecurity, but it is also an opportunity for us to understand the nature of our mind. When you realize that desire can never be satisfied, you gradually free yourself from its control. Peace is not in the distant promises of the future, but in the moment when you accept reality as it is. True freedom is not the absence of desire, but the freedom from it. This is the profound message of the Buddha, opening the path to complete liberation. In today's world, where people are constantly caught up in a whirlwind of success, social pressure, and expectations, Buddhism offers a profound approach to help us deal with these difficulties. First, we need to let go of prejudice and live authentically. Being authentic does not mean going against society or discarding all rules, but rather understanding our own core values, not allowing external standards to impose on us. Social pressure often comes from comparison and expectations. We are caught up in a cycle of having to measure up to standards to be considered successful. The Buddha taught that this pressure is not created by the outside world, but by our own minds. One way to let go is to practice mindfulness, focusing on the present and accepting things as they are. When you stop paying so much attention to what others think, you realize that the meaning of life lies in how you experience each moment, not in what you achieve. Meditation is a central practice in Buddhism, helping people awaken and connect with their inner truth. Meditation is not just about sitting quietly, but also about observing your mind, understanding your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Meditation plays a key role in achieving peace and awareness. It is not only a method to help you reduce stress, but also a tool for self-discovery and enlightenment. Meditation helps you identify negative thoughts and emotions and let them go with ease. Practicing meditation doesn't require you to withdraw from the world or spend hours each day. Just take 5 to 10 minutes to focus on your breathing and observe your mind. For example, in the morning, you can start your day by sitting quietly and listening to your breathing. At work, pause for a few minutes to focus on the present moment instead of worrying about the future. Meditation is not just an activity, but an attitude of being mindful in all your actions. When you eat, really savor the taste of the food. When you talk, listen to the other person instead of thinking about the answer. These small habits will help you build peace of mind and live a more meaningful life. Desire, whether for material things, fame, or love, is often the source of stress and suffering. The Buddha taught that letting go does not mean giving up everything. but rather not letting desires control you. If you are trying to achieve a big goal, work for the joy and meaning of the action, rather than basing all your happiness on the result. When you let go of expectations, you will find that the pressure is greatly reduced, and you will enjoy the journey instead of just focusing on the destination. Letting go helps you realize that peace does not come from something outside, but from how you face yourself. When you are no longer bound by desire, your mind becomes lighter and freer. Instead of being disappointed by what you have not achieved, ask yourself, is this really important enough to compromise my peace of mind? The answer often helps you see more clearly and gently let go of unnecessary burdens. Buddhism offers valuable and practical lessons for modern life. From giving up prejudices, practicing meditation, to letting go of desires, all help you find balance and peace of mind. Life does not have to be a tiring race to meet social standards, but can become a journey of self-discovery, searching for true meaning and living each moment to the fullest. Buddhism, as we have learned, is not a religion based on dogma or blind faith. It is a journey of practice where people discover and experience for themselves to realize the truth. From understanding the nature of suffering, overcoming cravings, to letting go of social pressures and living consciously, Buddhism provides tools to help us face life with authenticity and strength. Teachings such as the Eightfold Path, the Path of Non-Action, and meditation emphasize the importance of awareness, realizing the true nature of life and freeing ourselves from the bondage of cravings, pressures, and illusions. This is not just philosophy, but also a practical method to find inner peace and freedom right in our daily lives. The Buddha does not ask us to believe in him, nor does he promise a distant paradise. He says, "Come and see." This is a call to actual experience, not to believe, but to see for ourselves. When you truly live consciously, facing the truth and suffering, you will realize the light gradually shining from within. Buddha left the torch, but only you can feel it and light your path. If you feel that the sharing from Triet Tam brings value and meaning, please give Triet Tam a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next content. Don't forget to share the video with your loved ones and leave a comment below. Wishing you and your family lots of joy and health.